Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Akira review. This is going to be a more unscripted video where I just give my general thoughts and, try to analyze Akira as in-depthly as possible. So let's get right into it. Akira is a 1988 Japanese animated cyberpunk action film directed by Katsuhiro Otomo, produced by Ryohei Suzuki and Shunzo Kato, and written by Otomo and Izo Hashimoto, based on Otomo's 1982 manga of the same name. Set in a dystopian 2019, it tells the story of Shotaro Kaneda, a leader of a biker gang whose childhood friend Tetsuo Shima acquires incredible telekinetic abilities after a motorcycle incident, eventually threatening an entire military complex amid chaos and rebellion in the sprawling futuristic metropolis of Neo Tokyo. The film had a production budget of 700 million yen or 5.5 million USD, with its combined production and advertising budget reaching 1.1 million yen, 9 million USD, making it the most expensive anime film up until then. While most of the character designs and settings were adapted from the manga, the plot differs considerably and does not include much of the last half of the manga, which continued publication for 2 years after the film's release. The soundtrack, which draws heavily from traditional Indonesian gamelan as well as Japanese no music, was composed by Shoji Yamashiro and performed by Geino Yamashirogumi. Akira premiered in Japan on July 16, 1988, where it was distributed by Toho. It was released the following year in the United States by Streamline Pictures. It garnered an international cult following after various theatrical and VHS releases, eventually earning over 80 million USD worldwide in home video sales. It is widely considered by critics as one of the greatest films ever made in the animation, action, and science fiction genres, as well as a landmark in Japanese animation. It is also a pivotal film in the cyberpunk genre, particularly the Japanese cyberpunk subgenre, as well as adult animation. The film had a significant impact on popular culture worldwide, paving the way for the growth of anime and the popular Japanese culture in the Western world, as well as influencing numerous works in animation, comics, film, music, television, and video games. An iconic scene from the film, known as the Akira slide scene, has widely been referenced and homaged in many works of animation, film, and television. On July 16, 1988, the Third World War was triggered by the sudden destruction of Tokyo. The metropolis has been rebuilt as Neo Tokyo on artificial islands in Tokyo Bay. In 2019, the city is plagued by corruption, anti-government protests, terrorism, chuff, and gang violence, causing martial law to try and uphold the peace. During a violent protest, the hot-headed Shotaro Kaneda leads his vigilante Bosuzoku gang, the Capsules, against their rival biker gang, the Clowns. Kaneda's best friend Tetsuo Shima inadvertently crashes his motorcycle into Takashi, an esper who escaped from a government laboratory with the aid of resistance organization. Assisted by fellow esper Masaru, Japan Self-Defense Forces Colonel Shikishima recaptures Takashi, takes Tetsuo away, and arrests the Capsules. While being interrogated by the police, Kaneda meets Kei, an activist within the resistance movement, and tricks the authorities into releasing her with his gang. Kei is pardoned, but the Capsules are sent to reform school as punishment. At a secret government facility, Shikishima and his head of research, Dr. Onishi, discover that Tetsuo possesses powerful psychic abilities similar to Akira, the esper responsible for the singularity that destroyed Tokyo in 1988. The esper Kyoko forewarns Shikishima of Neo Tokyo's impending destruction, but the city council dismisses the colonel's concerns, leading him to consider Tetsuo to present another cataclysm. Meanwhile, Tetsuo escapes from the hospital, steals Kaneda's motorcycle, and prepares to run away from Neo Tokyo with his girlfriend Kaori, but they are ambushed by the clowns. The Capsules save Tetsuo and Kaori, but Tetsuo begins suffering intense headaches and hallucinations and is taken back to the hospital. After overhearing their plan to rescue Tetsuo and the other espers, Kaneda joins Kei's resistance cell. At the hospital, the espers try to kill Tetsuo via hallucinations, but Their attempt is thwarted. Discovering his telekinetic abilities, Tetsuo searches for the espers, in a fit of rage, easily killing any ordealies and militiamen blocking his path. The resistance group infiltrates the hospital, and Kyoko draws Kei and Kaneda into the Esper's futile attempts to stop Tetsuo. Kyoko tells Tetsuo that Akira, located in a cryonic storage beneath the Olympic Stadium's construction site, could help Tetsuo with his powers. After rejecting everyone around him, especially Kaneda, Tetsuo escapes the hospital to start his hunt for Akira. Kei, used by Kyoko as a medium to stop Tetsuo, breaks her and Kaneda out of military custody. Colonel Shikishima stages a coup d'etat against Neo-Tokyo's government and directs all of its military forces to destroy Tetsuo at any cost. At the capsule's former hangout, Harukiya Bar, Tetsuo confronts gangmates Yamagata and Kaisuke over Kaneda's bike and kills Yamagata after his protest. Kaisuke relays the news to Kaneda, who vows to avenge his friend, while Takashi brings Kei away. Tetsuo, mistaken for Akira by cultists, rampages through New Tokyo, arriving at Akira's cryogenic storage diwar under the stadium. Kei fights Tetsuo, but defeats her and exhumes Akira, only to find that his remains have been sealed in jars for scientific research. Kaneda confronts Tetsuo and fights him with a laser rifle, but fails to stop him. The colonel fires an orbital weapon at Tetsuo, destroying his arm, but Tetsuo destroys the weapon before it shoots him again. The colonel and Kaori approach the stadium, where Tetsuo, now with a robotic arm, is in great pain and losing control over his powers. Kaori attempts to restrain Tetsuo, while the colonel offers to return him to the hospital, heal his injuries, and help control his abilities, which Tetsuo refuses. Kaneda again confronts Tetsuo, who weakened from his missing arm, mutates into a gigantic mass of flesh, engulfing Kaneda and killing Kaori. As the mass grows, the Espers revive Akira to stop it. After briefly reuniting with his friends upon revival, Akira creates a singularity, drawing Tetsuo and Kaneda into another dimension. The Espers teleport the colonel to a safe distance as the singularity destroys Neo-Tokyo in a mirror of Tokyo's previous destruction. They agree to rescue Kaneda, knowing that they will not be able to return to this dimension as a result. In this singularity, Kaneda experiences Tetsuo and the Esper's childhoods, including his and Tetsuo's friendship, and the Esper's psychic training before Tokyo's destruction. The Espers return Kaneda to Neo-Tokyo, informing him that Akira will take Tetsuo to safety and that Kei is developing psychic powers. After witnessing the birth of a universe, Dr. Onishi is crushed in his crumbling laboratory. After consuming Neo-Tokyo, the singularity disappears and the water floods the crater left in its place. Kaneda, mourning the loss of Tetsuo, discovers that Kei and Kaisuke have survived, and they ride off into the ruins while the colonel watches the sunrise. The film ends with Tetsuo introducing himself in another plane of existence. While working on the Akira magazine, Katsuhiro Otomo did not intend to adapt the series. However, he became very intrigued when the offer to develop his work for the screen was put before him. He agreed to an anime film adaptation of the series on the grounds that he retained creative control of the project. This insistence was based on experiences working on Harmageddon. The Akira Committee was given the name was given to the partnership of several major Japanese entertainment companies brought together to realize production of an Akira film. The group's assembly was necessitated by the unconventionally high budget of around 1.1 billion yen, intended to achieve the desired epic standard equal to Otomo's 2,000-page manga tale. The committee consisted of Kodansha Mainichi Broadcasting System, Bandai, Hakuhodo, Toho, Laserdisc Corporation, and Sumitomo Corporation, who all forwarded money and promotion towards the film. The animation for the film was provided by the animation producers Tokyo Movie Shinsa, now TMS Entertainment. Akira had pre-scored dialogue, wherein the dialogue was recorded before the film starts production and the movements of the characters' lips are animated to match it. A first for anime production and extremely unusual even today for an anime. Although the voice actors did perform with the aid of animatics, and the superfluid motion as realized in the film's more than 160,000 animation cells, computer-generated imagery was also used in the film, created by High-Tech Lab Japan Incorporated and the cooperative companies for computer graphics Sumisho Electronic Systems Incorporated and Wavefront Technologies, primarily to animate the pattern indicator used by Dr. Onishi, but it was additionally used to plot the paths of falling objects, model parallax effects on the backgrounds, and tweak lighting and lens flares. Unlike its live-action predecessors, Akira also had the budget to show a fully realized futuristic Tokyo. The film's production budget was 700 million yen, or 5.5 million USD, with the combined production and advertising budget reaching 1.1 billion yen, 9 million USD. It was the most expensive anime film up until then, surpassing the previous record of Royal Space Force Wings of Hanamise 1987, which cost 800 million yen. Akira held the record for the most expensive anime film up until Otomo's Metropolis 2001. The teaser trailer for Akira was released in 1987. The film's main production was completed in 1987, and the sound recording and mixing performed in early 1988. It was released in 1988, 2 years before the manga officially ended in 1990. Otomo is claimed to have filled 2,000 pages of notebooks containing various ideas and character designs for the film, but the final storyboard consisted of trimmed down 738 pages. He had great difficulty completing the manga. Otomo has stated that the inspiration for its conclusion arose from a conversation that he had with Alejandro Jodorowsky in 1990. He later recalled that the film project had to begin with the writing of an ending that would bring suitable closure to major characters, storylines, and themes without being extraordinarily lengthy, so that he could know, in reverse order, which manga elements would make the cut into the anime, and thus suitably resolve the manga's various elements into a lean, 2-hour story. Otomo has called making the film, before finishing the manga, the worst possible idea. Although he came to like having two similar but different versions of the same story, he still felt too much of the original was cut out from the film. Otomo was a big fan of Tetsujin 28 Go. As a result, his naming conventions match the characters featured in Tetsujin 28 Go. Kaneda shares his name from the protagonist of Tetsujin 28 Go. Colonel Shikishima shares his name from Professor Shikishima of Tetsujin 28 Go, while Tetsuo is named after Shikishima's son Tetsuo Shikishima. Akira's Ryusaku is named after Ryusaku Murasame. In addition, Takashi Takashi has 26 tattooed on his hand, which closely resembles the font used in Tetsujin 28 Go. The namesake of the series, Akira, in the 28th in a line of psychics that the government has developed the same number as Tetsujin 28. One of the film's key animators was Makiko Futaki. She went on to become a lead animator for Studio Ghibli films such as Kiki's Delivery Service, Princess Mononoke in 1997, and Howl's Moving Castle 2004 before passing away in 2016. Another key animator who worked on Akira was former Shin-A animator Yoshiji Kigami. He animated several entire scenes in Akira, such as the action scene in the sewers. He later joined Kyoto Animation and later died in the 2019 Kyoto Animation arson attack at the age of 61. Akira was released by Toho on July 16, 1988 at the Japanese box office. It was the 6th highest grossing Japanese film of the year, earning a distribution income distributor rentals of 750 million in 1988. This made it a moderate success at the Japanese office. By 2000, the film had earned a Japanese distribution rental income of 800 million yen. The film's 4K remaster received a limited Japanese IMAX re-release in May 2020. Fledgling North American distribution company Streamline Pictures soon acquired an existing English-language rendition created by Electric Media Incorporated for Kodansha, which saw a limited release in North America theaters on December 5, 1989. Streamline became the film's first films distributor, with Carl Masek leading the distribution. Upon its initial limited U.S. release, Akira grossed about $1 million USD in the United States. In the United Kingdom, Akira was theatrically released by Island Visual Arts on January 25, 1991. It debuted at number 3 on the UK box office charts, grossing 439,345 European money, euros, something like that, in its opening weekend. It was fourth place. The following week was in the top 10 for 4 weeks and in the top four for 7 weeks, grossing 878,695 euros by early March 1991. It was re-released July 13th, 2013, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the film, and again on September 21st, 2016. In Australia, Akira was theatrically released by Ronin Films. In Canada, the streamlined dub was released by Lionsgate, at the time known as C/FP Distribution, who would eventually become Mangas Entertainment's owner through their media operating unit Stars Distribution in 1990. In 2001, Pioneer released a new English dub, which was produced by Anime and Zero Limit Productions and presented in select theaters from March through December 2001. It was the 20th digital cinema release in North America. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, was the first in 1999. In 2020, Manga Entertainment announced that they would be releasing Akira in 4K and IMAX in the UK. The re-release in October 2020 debuted at number 3 on the UK box office charts, grossing 201,124 euros in its opening weekend. The restored 4K version was shown in North American movie theaters on September 24, 2020, and for multiple days in select IMAX auditoriums and other cinemas worldwide. VHS releases included the initial streamlined video offering May 1991, which received later wider distribution by Orion Home Video September 1993 in the United Kingdom. Akira was released on video by Island World Communications in 1991. By 1993, this film had sold over 60,000 tapes in the United Kingdom, 100,000 tapes in Europe, and 100,000 tapes in the United States. The success of this release led to the creation of Manga Entertainment, who later took over the release. The original VHS release of Akira started up Manga Entertainment Australia, and VHS distribution was handled by Ronin Films and Polygram until 1994, when Siren Entertainment took over all of the Manga Entertainment in Australia's distribution, including Akira, under a special license from Polygram, who handled the island's video distribution. Akira was re-released on video in 1994 and again on DVD in 2001 and distributed by Madman Entertainment and the AV Channel. Pioneer Entertainment issued a DVD and VHS with a new English dub, the dub produced by Animace in 2001. This was one of the few releases from Pioneer to feature THX certified audio and video. In 2002, Manga released a 2-disc DVD featuring the new Pioneer Animace English dub, followed in 2004 by another 2-disc set containing the original Japanese as well as both the Streamline and Pioneer Animace dubs. This version did not contain standard English subtitles, only closed captioning subtitles. In 2005, Manga Entertainment and Boulevard UMD released Akira on UMD for PlayStation Portable in the United Kingdom and using the original Streamline dub. In 1992, video distribution company The Criterion Collection, which specializes in licensing important classic and contemporary films, released a Laserdisc edition of Akira. The release is notable in that Akira is the first animated film to be released by Criterion, and for more than 20 years, their sole animated film to be released until their 2014 Blu-ray DVD release of Fantastic Mr. Fox 2009. A Blu-ray disc edition of the film was released on February 24, 2009 in North America by Bandai Entertainment under the Hanamise label. A Blu-ray edition of Akira was subsequently released in Australia by Madman Entertainment under exclusive license from Manga Entertainment UK and Kodansha. Madman has recently released a DVD Blu-ray combo, which license is separate from the standalone Blu-ray release, because instead of the DVD version being the Manga UK video version, it uses Madman Manga's 2001 special edition DVD release, which is licensed from Manga UK. The Blu-ray release is the first use of the format's highest audio sampling rate, Dolby True HD 5.1 and 192 kHz for the Japanese audio track, and the first to use hypersonic effect only available on the Japanese track and on high-end audio systems. Beyond Japanese with English subtitles, the Blu-ray also features the 2001 Pioneer Animace English dub True HD 5.1 at 48 kHz. The DVD version was again released in 2012 by Bandai Entertainment. The film was licensed again by Funimation following Bandai Entertainment's closure shortly after its DVD release. The Funimation release includes both English dub, streamlined in stereo, and Pioneer 5.1 surround, both True HD and 96 kHz. Funimation released a 25th anniversary Blu-ray DVD combo and separate DVD release on November 12, 2013, which features the True HD, Japanese audio, and both English dubs, True HD and 96 kHz on Blu-ray. Best Buy released a limited edition exclusive Blu-ray Steelbook the same year. On April 24, 2020, an Ultra Blu-ray version was released in Japan by Bandai Namco Entertainment, featuring a 4K HDR remaster sourced from the original 35mm film print, as well as a 192 kHz audio transfer created for prior Blu-ray releases. The same remaster was released by Funimation on December 22nd, 2020. As of 2014, the film has earned over $80 million worldwide home video sales. In the United States, it was the 7th best-selling DVD anime film of all time as of 2006 and grossed $2,086,180 in Blu-ray sales as of January 2022. In the United Kingdom, it was 2020's 9th best-selling foreign language film on physical home video formats and the 2nd best-selling Japanese film, below the anime Weathering with You. The streamlined dub version first premiered on the Sci-Fi Channel in the 1990s during their week-long anime events and Saturday Anime Block. The pioneer dub of the film has aired twice on Adult Swim's Toonami programming block, once on December 7, 2013, and with a rating of TV MAV, and again on December 2014, both times with explicit language and nudity censored. It has aired numerous times on Australian FTA station SBS. In the United Kingdom, the film aired several times on BBC Two between 1994 and 1997. On review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval score of 90% based on 51 reviews with an average rating of 7.9 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads, Akira is strikingly bloody and violent, but its phenomenal animation and sheer kinetic energy helps set the standard for modern anime. From contemporary reviews, Tony Ryan's commented in Monthly Film Bulletin that the narrative was paced at such a speed and complexity that viewers who come to it without prior knowledge of the manga comic strip version tend to find it almost overpowering, concluding that the film virtually demands to be read alongside the manga and amounts to kind of a commentary on it. Discussing the story, Rains found the film not as particularly groundbreaking as science fiction, comparing the film to be between Blade Runner and 2001, with the film's main achievement being the sheer credibility of its vision of future tech as seen in fully through designs of vehicles, laboratory equipment, and that the film yields some extremely arresting images in the film's closing scenes, and that simply as animation, Akira is undoubted tour de force. Variety praises aspects of the film, from the imaginative and detailed design of Tomorrow to the booming Dolby effects on the soundtrack, but criticizes the slight stiffness in the drawings of human movement. Chicago Tribune Dave Kerr commends Otomo's excellent animation-specific ideas. Vehicles leave little color trails as they roar through the night, and there are a number of dream sequences that make nice use of the medium's ability to confound, scale, and distort perspective. From retrospective reviews, Anime News Network's Bamboo Dong represents the limited edition's DVD for its superbly translated English subtitles and commendable English dubbing, which sticks very close to the English translation, and the voice actors deliver their lines with emotion. Them's Anime Raphael C applauds the film's astounding special effects and clean, crisp animation. Chris Beveridge comments on the Japanese audio, which brings the forward soundstage nicely into play when required. Dialogue is well placed and with several key moments of directionality used perfectly. Janet Maslin of the New York Times commends Otomo's artwork, stating that the drawings of Neo Tokyo by night are so intricately detailed that all of the individual windows of huge skyscrapers appear distinct, and these night scenes glow with subtle, vibrant color. Richard Harrison of the Washington Post comments on the pace of the film, stating that the author has condensed the narrative sprawl of the comics to provide coherence, though there's a bit of Back to the Future Part 2 incompleteness to the story that hardly matters since the film moves with such kinetic energy that you'll be hanging on for dear life. Roger Ebert compares the film to Mad Max, calling it very gory, very gruesome, but entertaining in its own demented way. Kim Newman of Empire commends the film's skin scintillating scintillating animated visuals with not one computer assisted shot in sight. Helen McCarthy in 500 Essential Anime Movies claims that the anime remains fresh and exciting, easily holding its own against the products of 2 decades of massive technical development. Meanwhile, in 2004, Dan Persons of Cinefantastic listed the film as one of the 10 essential animations, simply referring to the film as the film that changed everything. In 1992, Akira won the Silver Scream Award at the Amsterdam Fantastic Film Festival. Akira was one of the 4 nominees for the 2007 American Anime Awards Best Anime Feature Award, but it lost to Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Johnny Young Bosch, Kanada's voice actor in the Pioneer English dub, was nominated for Best Actor and Best Actor in a Comedy at the American Anime Awards, but lost to fellow Naruto and Persona voice actors Vic Mignogna and Dave Wittenberg, respectively. Akira original soundtrack Symphonic Suite Akira was recorded by Geino Yamashirogumi. The music was composed and constructed by musical director Shoji Yamashiro, pseudonym of Sotomu Ohashi, and performed by the collective Geino Yamashirogumi. The soundtrack draws heavily from traditional Indonesian gamelan music. In addition to elements of Japanese no music, it features music which was additionally re-recorded for the release. Kanada, Battle Against Clown, and Exodus from Underground Fortress are really part of the same song cycle. Elements of Battle Against Clown can be heard during the opening bike sequence, for example. The score is generally sequenced in the same order that the music occurs in the film. The North American version featured extensive production notes by David Keith Riddick and Robert Napton. Akira, the original Japanese soundtrack, an alternate soundtrack, was also released. This version included music as it appeared in the film, with dialogue and sound effects, albeit ordered out of sequence. The soundtrack spawned an album of electronica remixes from Buana called Capsula's Pride. Samples from the Akira soundtrack have also been featured in numerous other hip-hop and electronic music tracks. In 1988, Taito released an Akira adventure game for the Famicom exclusively in Japan. Another Akira game for the Atari Jaguar, Super NES, Genesis, and Sega CD was being developed, but canceled along with prospects of another Akira title for the Game Boy and Game Gear handheld consoles. International Computer Entertainment produced a video game based on Akira for the Amiga and Amiga CD32 in 1994 to coincide with a DVD release in 2002. Bandai released Akira Psycho Ball, a pinball simulator for the PlayStation 2. Since 2002, Warner Bros. Acquired the rights to create a live-action remake of Akira as a 7-figure deal. The live-action remake has undergone several failed attempts to produce it, with at least 5 different directors and 10 different writers known to have been attached to it. By 2017, director Taika Waititi was named as the film's director for the live-action adaptation. Warner Bros. Had scheduled the film for release on May 21st, 2021, and filming was planned to start in California in July 2019. However, Warner Bros. Put the work on an indefinite hold just prior to filming as Waititi had chosen to first direct Thor Love and Thunder, the sequel to Thor Ragnarok, which he had also directed. Akira is now widely regarded as one of the greatest animated movies of all time, and prompted an increase in popularity of anime movies in the US and generally outside of Japan. It is still admired for its exceptional visuals. In Channel 4's 2005 poll of the 100 greatest animations of all times, featuring both film and television, Akira came at number 16. On Empire Magazine's list of the 500 greatest movies of all time, Akira is number 440. It showed up again on Empire's list of the 100 best films of world cinema, coming out at number 51. IGN also named it 14th on the list of top 25 animated movies of all time. The Akira anime also made Time Magazine's list of top 5 anime DVDs. The film also made number 16 on Time Out's top 50 animated movie list, and number 5 on Total Film Top 50 Animated Films list. The film was ranked number 1 by Wizard Anime's magazines. By Wizard's Anime magazine on their Top 50 Anime released North America list in 2001. It was ranked number 4 on the Hollywood Reporter's critics list of 10 best animated films for adults in 2016. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times selected Akira as his video pick of the week in 1992 on Siskel and Ebert's and the Movies. For its wider 2001 release, he gave the film thumbs up. Akira has also been regarded as one of the greatest action and science fiction films of all time. It was ranked at number 22 on The Guardian's list of best sci-fi and fantasy films, included on Film 4's list of top 50 science fiction films, and ranked number 27 on Complex's magazine list of 50 sci-fi movies. The Daily Telegraph listed Akira as the 5th greatest action film of all time. Philip O'Neill of The Guardian draws a parallel on Akira's influence on the science fiction genre to Blade Runner and Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey. Akira is considered a landmark in the cyberpunk genre, particularly the Japanese cyberpunk genre. The British Film Institute describes Akira as a vital cornerstone of the cyberpunk genre, along with Blade Runner and Neuromancer. Rob Garrett of the South China Morning Post calls Akira one of the most influential sci-fi visions ever realized on film, comparable to the influence of Blade Runner. Akira is also credited as a breakthrough for adult animation, proving to global audiences that animation was not just for children. The Akira slide refers to a scene where Kaneda slides into view with his motorcycle as he uses a sideways slide to bring his bike to a halt, while the bike gives off a trail of smoke and electric sparks caused by the slide. It is also regarded that one of the most iconic anime scenes of all time, widely imitated and referenced in many works of animation, films, and television. The Akira slide appears in many dozens of animated works, including Batman the Animated Series, You're Under Arrest. Oh shoot, I forgot to include the dates. Batman the Animated Series, 1993. You're Under Arrest, 1994. Gargoyles, 1994. Airmaster, 2003. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 2003, 2009. Yaki Tate, Japan, 2004. Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go 2005, Teen Titans 2005, Gurren Lagann 2007, Star Wars The Clone Wars 2003, Yu-Gi-Oh 2008 to 2016, Fresh Pretty Cure 2009, Lupin III vs. Detective Conan 2009, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl 2009, Durara 2010, Adventure Time 2011, Clarence 2014, and Marvel Spider-Man 2018, among many others. Several live-action films have also paid homage to the Akira slide, notably in X-Men Origins Wolverine 2009. Akira is regarded by many critics as a landmark anime film, one that influenced much of the art in the anime world that followed its release, with many illustrators in the manga industry citing the film as an important influence. Manga author Masashi Kishimoto, for example, recalls becoming fascinated with the way the poster was made and wished to imitate the series creator's Katsuhiro Otomo's style. The film had a significant impact on popular culture worldwide. The film led the way for the growth and popularity of anime outside Japan, as well as Japanese popular culture in the Western world. Akira is considered as a forerunner of the second wave of anime fandom that began in the early 1990s and gained a massive cult following since then. It is credited with setting the scene for anime franchises such as Pokemon, Dragon Ball, and Naruto to become a global phenomena. According to The Guardian, the cult 1998 anime taught Western filmmakers new ideas in storytelling and helped cartoons grow up. Akira has influenced numerous works in animations, comics, film, music, television, and video games. It inspired a wave of Japanese cyberpunk works, including manga and anime series such as Ghost in the Shell, Battle Angel Alita, Cowboy Bebop, Serial Experiments Lain, and Elfen Lied. Live-action Japanese films such as Tetsuo the Iron Man, and video games such as Hideo Kojima's Snatcher and Metal Gear Solid, and Squaresoft's Final Fantasy VII. Outside of Japan, Akira has been cited as major influence on Hollywood films such as The Matrix, Dark City, Kill Bill, Chronicle, Looper, The Dark Knight, Midnight Special, Inception, Godzilla, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Television shows such as Batman Beyond and Stranger Things, and video games such as Core Design Switchblade, Valve's Half-Life series, and Don't Nod Entertainment's Remember Me, and John Gaeta cited Akira as an artistic inspiration for bullet time effective in the Matrix films. Akira has been credited with influencing the Star Wars franchise, including the prequel film trilogy and the Clone Wars film and television series. Todd McFarlane cited Akira as an influence on HBO animated television series Spawn. Akira has also influenced the work of musicians. The music video for Michael Jackson's and Janet Jackson's song Scream 1995 features clips from Akira. Kanye West cited Akira as a major influence on his work, and he paid homage to the film in the Stronger 2007 music video. Lupe Fiasco's album Tetsuo and Youth is named 2015 is named after Tetsuo Shima. The popular bike from the film, Kanada's Motorbike, appears in Steven Spielberg's films Ready Player One and CD Projekt Red's video game Cyberpunk 2077. Deus Ex Mankind Divided video game developer Eidos Montreal also paid homage to the film's poster. The season 4 premiere of Rick and Morty's Edge of Tomorty, Rick Die Repeat features a scene in which Morty and then Rick are transformed into a giant tendrilled monster that Jerry and Beth later refer to as an Akira. The 2000 South Park episode Trapper Keeper has references to Akira, such as one of the characters transforming into a giant blob organism before absorbing several other characters, not unlike the movie. When Tokyo was chosen to host the 2020 Summer Olympics in the 2013 bidding process, several commentators claimed that Akira predicted the future event. In 2017, Akira was referenced in several Tokyo Olympic promotions. In February 2020, during the coronavirus pandemic and 147 days before the Olympics, a scene in Akira which calls for the cancellation of the 2020 Olympics 147 days before the event led to a social media manager trend calling for the cancellation of the 2020 Olympics. The summer 2020 Olympics were eventually postponed to 2021 due to the coronavirus pandemic. Yeah, so those are like my basic thoughts and like pretty much like unscripted ideas on Akira. I mean, I'm not like the biggest fan of Akira. I think it's like really visually engaging, but those I mean, you've already heard me talk about it probably like a little bit. So, I think that's about all I have to say. I don't really got a lot to say about it in general. So, thanks for watching.